What's up, you guys? It's Robbie here. Today, we're going to be going over ticker symbol NNDM. This was requested by a person down in the comment section. So, shout out to whoever you are. I greatly appreciate interacting with my viewers and all that kind of stuff. So, if you guys have ticker symbols that you want me to do a review on, just drop it down below in the comment section. But while you're down there, if you can, just do me a favor and hit the like on this video, or just give it a little pokey, tickle, whatever you need to do to make sure that it turns blue. And then make sure that subscribe button is also gray. So just make sure, click it. If it's gray, yay. If it's red, just give it a little click or a pokey or whatever. And then give that bell a hug by turning on notifications. I greatly appreciate it as a small YouTuber. And thank you guys so much for the support that you've shown me so far. Like, it's really done a lot, and it's really helped me grow here on YouTube, and I can't wait to see what this channel starts to become even more. Like 3 weeks ago, I had 20 subscribers. Now I'm sitting here at close to 280 subscribers, and I'm pushing my way to 300. I'm like, next goal is 300, and then after that, it's 500, and then it's 1,000. Like, I thank you guys so much for your support. I didn't even think I would be growing this fast, and it just shows the amount of support that this community has, and I appreciate it so much. So thank you guys. But aside from that, sorry for getting all sappy on you guys, but let's go ahead and talk about Nano Dimensions. I just really want to cover this on a little bit of a fundamental aspect of looking at their cash flow, looking at their balance sheet, talking about what their PE ratio is and all that kind of stuff, just to understand what Nano Dimensions is. But to give you a little bit of a hint, Nano Dimensions, if you Google them real quickly, is listed as a 3D printing company. And they are definitely a very small 3D printing company, but has a lot of growth priced into them. So they are definitely going to be moving in an upwards direction. But the one thing I wanted to talk about was really the short volume, and then look at the short shares that are available, which is 8.9 million. The short borrow fee is 1.31%. But the short volume ratio was up literally for the past 3 days of last week, versus being at 17%, 12%, 18%, 6%. So it causes me for concern that now that this is being a little bit more of a shorted stock, maybe it's because the volume has been pretty much exhausted and it's easier to push the price down on it. So, but let's hop over here to Yahoo. I love Yahoo for looking at cash flow, balance sheets, and all that kind of stuff, because it's pretty much readily available to you. So one of the fundamental aspects when I look at a company and say, am I going to invest in this company, is, are they cash flow positive or are they cash flow negative? Now, taking a look at Nano Dimensions, they are cash flow positive. However, if we take a look down here, there's a common stock issuance, which says that they've been offering out their shares essentially to get money into the company. Now, to me, this isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I prefer companies not to do this unless if it's like a last resort option. Hopefully companies like Nano Dimensions would be able to get contracts for like 3D printing parts for the United States or something like that kind of thing. But right now it seems like a lot of their cash flow is coming from their common issuance of stock, which is not the best thing for shareholders because it's essentially devaluing the share of the stock. So, but if we take a look here at the balance sheet looks fine. Their assets far outweigh their liabilities, which is really good. You want the company to have a lot more assets than what they are held liable for. You don't want it inverse kind of thing. So, but let's close that out. The one news article that I saw in the past couple of days that was announced was that they have a new president on board. I'm not exactly sure who this person is and what the level of impact is going to be, but I mean, that's definitely a positive news catalyst for it. And speaking about news catalyst, Motley Fool seems to be running a lot of FUD articles along with Reuters lately, but I really want to talk about this article because it's talking about how Nano Dimensions fell 12.7% in March. If you remember, pretty much in the middle of February, we started a market correction. And when the market decides to correct, the first things that are hit are high growth and high tech stocks like Tesla, like a Nano Dimensions, because what's called their PE ratio, which is their price to earnings ratio, is a lot higher. So a lot of people see that and they're like, oh, well, yes, this has a lot of growth potential, but I want to shift into something a lot safer. So what institutions do, and what a lot of retail does, along with pretty much everyone in the stock market, I should just say that, is they decide, okay, well, let's shift ourselves over here into more cyclical type of stocks that have a PE ratio around, say, like 15 or 10 or something like that. So you see these drop-offs because they want to get into something safer versus something that's a little bit more risky. Tech and growth is a pretty risky area, but if you just keep your money where it is and then you just look at your account and you see the negative and you're like, well, it really hurts kind of thing to see the negative. Just whatever you do, don't sell it, because what has fundamentally changed about the company between the market correction and now? That's the question you really got to ask yourself. And if nothing has changed, hold on to it. Just hold on to it. Like, yes, it hurts to see red. Most of my account right now is still red because I am a high tech, a growth person kind of thing. So it hurts to see it. But in the end of it, I know the market correction is only temporary, and bear markets only last for so long before the bulls come in, and we have a bull market that lasts far longer than bear markets kind of thing. So just keep that in mind. But let's go ahead and hop on over here to Webull and take a look at Friday's price action. So Friday we finished at $7.82, down almost about 1.5%. We saw a high of $8.10, and then we saw a low of $7.79. Now, the huge thing that I'm looking at here on Webull is the volume is 7.67 million shares versus the average over a 3-month period is 29. So you're really looking at a volume, essentially volume dissipation, like just disappearing out of the stock. Now, the huge thing that I wanted to take a look at was, I know Nano Dimensions is held in ARKW. So I wanted to take a look at ARKW versus Nano Dimensions here. So let's 1 day, 1 minute. Okay. So they kind of have the inverse, essentially. Yeah. They look like they're the inverse of one another. So the huge thing that I'm taking a look at here is it seems like 779 or the 775 area seems to be a level of support for the stock here on the 1 day, because we tried to almost touch it here and here kind of thing. So, but the huge thing that jumps out to me right now is the fact that in the morning we had a nice pull, but we weren't able to keep the growth throughout the day, and we ended up selling most of it off. Now, this could have been a short wave kind of thing to just drive the price of the stock back down, because when you do have short sellers, if your short ratio is a lot higher than what your long ratio is, you're going to have a lot of problems holding the stock price up on a very low volume. It happens with a lot of stocks. But let's go ahead and hop out here to the 5-day, 5-minute. So it seems like I drew in another support here at 762, which seems to be the low for a while. But really, it seems like the stock, like if you can look at the chart here for Friday, and look at the chart before, so it literally looks like our volume on Friday was pretty much non-existent. Our RSI is sitting at 42, so we are sitting below neutral, which is technically not the worst thing, but not the best thing either. Looking at the MACD is symboling a very bearish indicator here, especially in the after hours. The MACD has really separated out from the signal and is crossing over the equilibrium here and diving back down. So this is a bearish indicator here. I also really do not like how overextended this got when we were buying really heavy. And then when we sold, we got pretty overextended as well. We had a good period of consolidation here, which wasn't bad at all, but really this here on the RSI is going to cause implied volatility to really, not the RSI, the MACD is really going to cause implied volatility to jump up a lot. So hopping out here to the 1 month. So the huge thing that I see here is we were at 1199 on what day? March the 15th. So we were about a couple of weeks into the market correction. But if we zoom out more, we can see essentially when the market correction started, Yeah, it was right here on the 10th. The market corrected and just started selling off. And this is pretty much what you can see on most stocks that are like Palantir, Tesla, and all that kind of stuff. A lot of times they sell off very quickly. Now, looking here at the 1 month, 1 hour, our RSI sitting at 46, and it looks like we're fighting here for bullish/bearish territory on the MACD, and we're sitting below the equilibrium. So not a bad thing, but the huge thing that I would be looking for Nano Dimensions is I want to see it recover when the greater market decides to also recover, kind of thing, and see if we can get back to these highs that we were seeing of close to $17. So if we can retest those levels again, or if it's going to be something that's going to be very difficult. The other thing that I wish I had a Bloomberg terminal. I just don't want to pay 24 grand a whole entire year for Bloomberg terminal. That's absolutely ridiculous for a small YouTuber. But I would really want to take a look at the inflows and the outflows of ARKW, because I feel like the inflows and outflow within ARK would directly correlate with how Nano Dimensions does. Because I feel like, and this is what I noticed, was Nano Dimensions seems to be linked very closely to ARK. And if ARK has a positive day, Nano Dimensions tends to do really well. But if ARK has a negative day, they tend not to do very well. And that was what I really noticed. But overall, my recommendation is for this stock, if you don't mind taking the risk and do whatever you want to do, will I personally be investing in this stock? I might invest in this stock and look for it to retest $17 here in the next couple of months, because it has shown that it can get up that high. But outside of that, I personally will not do that. I personally will not be investing in Nano Dimensions because it's not a company for me. I'm more into the software development, EVs, and all that kind of stuff. I'm more in that kind of part of the field versus the more of like 3D printing and all that kind of stuff. I haven't dabbled into that too much, but this definitely was a nice introduction to the field and all that kind of stuff. But if you guys like the video and all that kind of stuff, remember, just hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. And then also down below, I do have my Webull referral link. So if you do want to join Webull, it's this platform right here. You do get 2 free stocks when you join Webull. One when your account's approved, and then the other one when you deposit $100 on the platform. So personally, it's a great platform for me, and I really like it. You get 2 free stocks valued anywhere between $10 and $1,600. So take a 10% return on $100 immediately, and it's completely free. Why not do it? But that's all I got for you guys today. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.